And we are live now on YouTube, looking at the gold chart, the 15-minute chart, trend line strategy. Tokyo started pushing gold up a little bit, got up to 42.19, 42.15, 42.15, 42.16. And we got 6 people watching already. Good morning, guys. Wherever you're from, let me know where you're watching from. So the trend line strategy, I'm waiting to see if this breaks above the red line, my action line. I'm looking to go long. If it breaks below the green line, which would be the action line, if it breaks below that, that's the action line. I'll be looking to go short. And gold is short on the 4-hour chart and bullish on the day chart. So it could go either direction. If you look back at yesterday, we're kind of like right where we started yesterday. After all of that up and down movement, it's at virtually the same price as it was yesterday when we and you see this big move up, that was because of the ADP news, and then you saw the big move down, that was because of the manufacturing news which came out later in the, US. So that's typical what you get with the news data that comes out, is a knee-jerk reaction, and then once the news is over, it goes back to what it was doing. In fact, we might just, while this is not doing anything yet, just go and look at the calendar. Let's see if you've got that on screen. There we go, forexfactory.com. This is yesterday, and we had the ADP non-farm. It was really bad news. Minus 32K, forecast was 5K, so really much worse than forecast. And that's why gold shot up like a rocket when the news came out. And then a little bit later in the session, we had the manufacturing data, the PMI, and that was good news. So then gold fell down like a brick, and that's what happens. Knee-jerk reaction to the news. Let's look at today and see what we've got coming out. Only one item, and that's on the U.S. economy. That's at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. And that's the unemployment claims. That's every Thursday. That's a regular news item. So we'll go back to our chart here, and we're getting some bearish movement here as it heads down towards my first green trend line. And if it breaks below that trend line, the green trend line, the action line, it looks like it's going to. I would stop at 42.15 above the red line, which would be the safety line. And we're only 4 minutes, 5 minutes now into the Singapore and Shanghai session. And this is why I like to trade at this time because of the Singapore and Shanghai markets opening. Shanghai is a gold exchange, similar to the London gold exchange. So that's why we get some good moves, good trade setups during that time, during this time. If you're watching, don't forget to like and share. That does help the channel, helps to bring in more viewers. Of course, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click the little bell so you'll be notified when I do go live. Generally, not guaranteed, but generally every Monday to Friday at 8 a.m. Indochina time or 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, get 'em a good big bearish candle there. That first red candle was the 7:45 candle, 15 minutes before the market opened. Now we've got a big bearish candle there. The 8 o'clock, the first 15-minute candle. Looks like it wants to head down at least to what's our first support level is, wow, 41.85. And day before yesterday, it got lower than that. It got down to 41.68. 41.85 there, a little bit lower. Day before yesterday, 41.68. So 41.85 is our first target if we start to go down. And now pulling back. Big move down and now pulling back. And got connection here. I'm just going to reconnect to that. So frustrating. And now I think I'm back. Yeah. Okay. See if anybody stayed here. Still got three people here. Oh, I don't have a really good connection at my condo, and this does happen. It happened day before yesterday. Everybody bailed out. About 3 or 4 minutes to get reconnected. So the chart's still moving. I'm still connected, still live. And we're just sitting here waiting for the price to tell us what it's going to do. Doesn't look like it's going to do very much in this first 15 candle. Anybody that's watching, four people now, let me know where you're from, where you're watching from. I am in Southeast Asia. So when I announced the time is 8 a.m. Indochina time. That's Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand. There is Sean, I think. Hey, From Jamaica, thanks. Yeah, I think you've been here before. And Sri Lanka. No, Sean, I have not lived in the US since 1984. Notice from the accent that I'm American, but I have not lived in the US since 1984. Sean is always here. Great. Well, okay, great. That's fantastic. Thanks for your support. Always just say hello. Let me know that you're here. People watch and they don't say anything. Don't comment. Who's this other guy? Latif from Sri Lanka. Yeah, that's before you were born. So no, I love sharing this, what I do, and I like doing the chat with you, where, if I'm not doing live, then I'm just sitting here alone, and trading can be lonely. You're just looking at share our experience. This is an interesting candle here. Had a pretty good move down to 42.05, and that's from, 42.12, a 60 pip drop, $6 drop with the opening of the market. It looks like it might go back up. Just wait and see. Just wait for the market to tell us what it's gonna do. This is price action trading. I don't try to guess or predict. I know that, gold is bearish on the 4-hour chart and bullish on the day chart, so that means it could really go any direction in the big picture, the long-term charts, the higher time frames, but I prefer to trade on the 15-minute chart for day trading. Now, last night, I had some good trades. When this news came out on the ADP, I got a 125 pip move on that. I don't usually trade the US session, but, the news came out. It was so bad for the US economy. It was like a Christmas gift, and, there was no question that it was gonna go up like it did. So I took a trade, got 125 pips, just 1 trade in the US session, and then that was I didn't wanna stay around for this other stuff here. You got a big move down, and then, like, 30 minutes later, another big move up, and then, 15 minutes later, another big move down, and then I don't like all that volatility there. I don't like that. So one good trade last night at the US session, 125 pips. Great move. I don't usually trade the US session, but I saw that news come out, and it was like a Christmas gift. So I took advantage of that. Yeah, Sean, you wanna learn this skill. It's a simple strategy, very simple strategy. It's only the trend lines, and you go back to the monthly chart, and you start drawing your trend lines from the all-time high, you get your downward trend line, the red, and then from the, all-time low, you get your upward trend line. Then you move to the weekly chart and do the same thing, and move down to the daily chart, do the same thing, and then the 4-hour chart, do the same thing until you get down to the time frame that you're gonna be trading on. So these trend lines go all the way back to the monthly chart, and then you only have to you only have to change them. You only adjust them, during the day that you're trading. Now what do we get? This is interesting. Just broke above my trend line, not too dramatically. It's really staying around. The blue line is the pivot point, the starting point, general starting point, and it will either move up away from that or it will move down away from that and head towards resistance or head towards support. The yellow lines are support and resistance. I'm going to give this a few minutes. It's now the 8:15 can. I'm going to give this a few minutes to see what it's going to do. If this candle stays green and continues to move up, this is a long trade setup for me. But it's hesitating initially. It's only 1 minute into this candle. Well, Blatif, the lot size doesn't matter. The lot size you use is based on the balance of your account. If you have $100 in your account, then you trade 0.01. If you have $100,000 in your account, then you can trade one. So it doesn't matter the lot size that I use. I have different size accounts, so I use different lot sizes in different accounts. But what you want to look at is the risk to reward ratio. You never risk more than 1% on any trade. So if this is a $10,000 account, if this is a $10,000 account, as an example, what would 1% would be $100. You don't want to risk more than $100 on the trade. I prefer to risk less, half a percent, but sometimes I'll risk 1%. But you should risk not more than 2%. 1 to 2% is throughout the industry. That's the accepted uh, rule of thumb. Don't risk more than 1 to 2%. And then you want to try for a risk to reward ratio of 1 to 2. Sometimes I can only get 1, but 1 to 2 is preferred. So if I took this trade, let's say, let me get my, if I took a long trade, and let's say if I took a long trade right there using this tool on TradingView, that's a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. My stop loss would be here, and that's about where my stop loss would be actually if I took a trade right now. That's where I would put the stop loss. So that's only 1-to-1. I prefer 1 to 2. So I'll move this. There it is, right there, and that would be where I put my take profit. It's on the first resistance line. So that's a preferred risk to reward ratio. And that means if you trade 1 to 2 all the time, every time, you can lose 3 trades out of 5 and still have profit in your account. So very boring start to the market opening, but with this first candle coming down, then going back up, it looks like the general sentiment might be to go long, but not yet. I'm waiting for the price to tell me what it's going to do. It hasn't given me a clear break above the red action. 7 people watching now. Rest of you guys, let me know where you're from. Sean is from Jamaica. Latif is from Sri Lanka. Yeah, support and resistance. That's quite simple. You can draw the lines yourself on your chart. You go back to a previous price point where it has been before. And let me see if I can do it here. Squeeze up a little bit. 4168 goes back there. Here it came a little bit below that, but that's the general one where it touched there, and up here, previous price point. That's all support and resistance is a previous price point where it has been before. And I use an indicator that adjusts itself. I don't draw the lines myself. I use an indicator on MT4 and MT5 that updates every day when the market starts, when the New Zealand, Australian market opens. It adjusts the support and resistance every day automatically, and it gives me support and resistance for 5 levels. So you see, I've got more on here. There's the next resistance level, and I just put those lines in there from my MT4, MT5 indicator, which I've been using for 10 years. It's very accurate. It's very reliable, and it's actually free. But it doesn't work on TradingView. So I look at MT4, MT5, and I look at those numbers. Then I put these yellow lines in here. The yellow line, the blue line is where it starts, and then the yellow lines are support and resistance above and below. And I just take those numbers from MT4 from that indicator and I put them here on the chart. I do that before I start trading every day. And the indicator's free. Oh, Sky from Nigeria. I remember you. I think you chatted with me a long, long time ago. I think. I could be wrong. There's more than one person named Sky. And if you want that MT4, MT5 indicator, it's two separate ones. You know, you have one for MT4 and one for MT5. They're the same. It's free on my website. And there's my website, rickrayfx.com. If you go there, you see a tab that says indicators. And then you go to that page, indicators, and you can download the support and resistance indicator for free. Whether you use, if you use MT4, that one, if you use MT5, you want that one. You're welcome, Sky. Thanks for being here. I think it must be very early for you if you're in Nigeria. So what are we getting here? Nothing. 4 candles that are staying right on the pivot point. 4 15-minute candles staying right on the pivot point. Sometimes this can happen. You know, usually this is why I trade at this time of day because it's usually you get good moves one direction or the other, but it's not always. It's, just because it did it yesterday doesn't mean it's going to do it today. Yeah, the market is not predictable. That's why you have to use price action. Just let the price tell you what it's going to do, and then take a trade accordingly. Now we're getting there. So we got green, red, and another 5 minutes on this candle here. So my still looking good here. Haven't broken yet. Only dropped the connection once. People still watching. This is the boring time of being a trader. Trading can be very boring. 99% of our time we do nothing but look at the chart. And then the other 1%, we take the trade and set our stop loss and our take profit. And this is the market will make you crazy. And then when the market thinks you're really just bored crazy, you're just bored to death, it will do something. And it takes advantage of that boredom. That's an emotion that the market plays on. We're sitting here thinking, I need to click buy or I need to sell. I need to do something. No, you don't need to do anything. You just wait till the market tells you what it's going to do. Yeah, Sean, today it's okay so far. Well, day before yesterday, it really dropped connection. I had to reboot everything, and I was gone for like 3 or 4 minutes, and most people bailed out, and I do understand that. I would probably do the same. Yes, support and resistance is really very important. I cannot overemphasize that. And any analysis that you listen to or the news that you hear, they talk about support and resistance. You can see it on investing.com. They give you the support and resistance, the previous price points. Very, very important. And remember, we have three types of support and resistance. You have the horizontal lines, which you see on my chart, and then you have the moving averages. Okay, that's this yellow line here. This is an 8 EMA, exponential moving average, which right now is support because the price is above that. So this 8 EMA is support for the price. And then you have trend lines. Trend lines are diagonal support and resistance. So three types of support and resistance. And the really key ones are the horizontal. Because if price breaks above where we are now and starts to move away from this blue line, the pivot point for the day, if it starts to move above, then you ask yourself, where is it going? If it starts to turn bullish, you ask yourself, where is it going? Well, it's going to the next resistance level, 42.32. That's just what commodities and currencies do. They go from one level to the next level, or they go from one level down to the next level. If this starts down and breaks and turns bearish, then I ask myself, where's it going? It's going to 41.85. And that's where I put my take profit. So support and resistance are very, very key, very important. And that's why they're always on my charts. That's why I love that indicator that I've been using for 10 years, which again is free on my website, rickrayfx.com. I'm just going to jump up and grab a bottle of water. Okay, I'm back. Still not getting anything here. And I lost my little symbol here. I'm looking for that thing. Where is it? Reset my chart. Oh, there it is. I like to keep this over right about there. I like having that little banner on my chart for people. People ask me what broker am I using? I use Tickmill. Okay, now we need to make an adjustment on the trend line because it's this previous candle now is finished. Now we're on the 830. So I wanna just adjust my trend line a little bit and put that at the high there. Okay, that's better. So I've really only got 1, 2, 3 touch points on my trend line. That's not really, but it's very close to a touch point. And the more touch points you can get is better. So on the upward trend line, I've got 1, 2 clear touch points, almost 3 there. And the more touch points you have, if it breaks away from that, then that's more significant. But this is really a boring start to the Singapore Shanghai market. Little bit unusual to see it so flat, but some days can be like that. Now we're getting a little bit of a break, maybe. Only 1 minute on that candle, 2 minutes now on that candle. We got some other people that are usually here in the morning, and I don't see them watching. Raj and Howard Kaki, some of our regular followers, don't seem to be here today. And sometimes I go in the London session. I do live in the London session sometimes, and that would be 3 p.m. Eastern Standard. So if you subscribe to the channel and you click the bell to be notified, then you'll I don't do it every day, but some days I do also the London session. Yes, I only trade gold. I've been trading Forex for more than 10 years, but this year, 2025, I only trade gold. And the reason being, and I recommend to everybody that you only trade 1 or 2 assets, 1 or 2 only, and then get to know, build a relationship with the assets. It takes time. And then only trading 1 or 2, you start to understand when it moves, how it moves, why it moves. You build a relationship with it. That's very, very important. A lot of traders will have a dozen different things they're looking at, the major pairs, some minor pairs, some indexes, some commodities. You can't watch all of that stuff. You can't understand the different movements that you get on so many different assets. And this year, 2025, I've only traded gold. And next year, after New Year's, I'm going to add one more asset. I'm going to add platinum. So I'll be trading 2 assets next year. Platinum moves very well according to the trend line strategy. It respects the trend lines. It trends well. It goes up for a good number of days. It goes down for a good number of days. You can really get some good movement on platinum. This is just incredible. That's the 7:45 candle there. So we've got three candles now. That's the 8 o'clock candle, 8:15, 8:30 candle, and nothing happening. The first one looked like it might do something, but now we're not getting anything, and that's okay. I don't care. If I don't have a trade set up, I'm not gonna take a trade. I can just be bored until I don't care. You have to detach your emotions from trading. This is the strategy I use, and I trust the strategy, and I trade according to the strategy. I don't feel like I have to click buy, I have to click sell. I wait till the price tells me what it's going to do according to my strategy. Well, I understand that, Sky. Gold can make big moves. Yeah. So, I don't know how much capital you have, probably a small account. Uh, if you can trade micro lots, 0.01, then that would be the way to go. And just use a good risk to reward ratio. Don't risk more than 1% on any trade. Yeah, Sean, you only trade gold. A lot of people do that, only trade gold. The people that I know and chat with on a regular basis, they only trade one or two assets. And new people that I meet, they tend to trade many things, but then after some consultation, then they start to understand that, you just can't trade so many different things. Okay, we're getting a little bit of a break here. Maybe? No? Oh my goodness. I love it when I get a trade set up because then I can show you where I put my stop loss and my risk to reward ratio. I can just tell you if this breaks above the red line, okay, and has some momentum and it tells me that it's going to continue up, then I put my stop loss below the green line, which is my safety line. And that would be right there at 4204, maybe I put 4203, a little bit lower. Don't put it too close. You need to give it some room to breathe. And then my take profit is up here at this first resistance level at 4232. And inversely, if it should break below the green line and start to go down, then I put my stop loss above the red line, which would be my safety line. And that would be at 42, let's say 4217, right in there. And that generally will be 1% or less risk on my trade. Okay. So you're a gold man now. I never have traded the Dow. I have one client that I see almost every day, and he trades the Dow. He trades the S&P 500 and the US 30, and he trades silver, and he trades currency pairs. That guy, he trades too many things. At least he trades too many things according to my philosophy, the way I trade. But he's quite an experienced trader, and he likes to look at a lot, more charts. So I can only, share my experience and share what I believe is better, more key to your success. And I really do believe that trading just one or two items is key to your success. Build a relationship with the asset that you're trading. Like, last night in the US session, because I've been trading gold for so long and watching it, I knew when that news come out on the ADP, I knew I could see that the price was much less than the forecast. I knew it's going to go up. There was no question. And I took a trade 5 minutes after the news came out, and I got 125 pips profit. It was a no-brainer because I know the asset. I've seen it so many times. and it gets to a point where you know what to expect. I don't predict, I know how it moves and what it reacts to. And we'll just look at Bitcoin right quick, guys. Bitcoin been making a good move up. Day before yesterday, it was at 83,000. Now it's at 93,000. So it's moved up $10,000 in just a couple of days. It got pretty low there, very, very bearish, but now it's starting to make its way back up. Maybe get up to 100,000 before Christmas. And then XPT, that's platinum. That's the chart that I'm starting to look at on a regular basis so that I get a build a relationship with that one. Just adjust my trend lines a little bit here, put in another one and come in steeper on that one. Okay, if I was trading platinum, then that chart is ready to go. And it's not doing anything either, just like gold. I'll go back to the gold chart. Look at the DXY right quick, the US dollar index, and it just continues to decline. Sad state of the US dollar. And it's going to continue to decline. It's been going down ever since Trumpty Dumpty took office in January. That was the high. And when Trumpty Dumpty took office, then it's just been a steady decline of the US dollar. And we're getting nothing here. So another 3 minutes on this candle. If I don't get any trade on this one, on this candle here, then I'm probably going to sign off for today. If you guys want to chat with me more, you can add me to add me to Telegram, and that is my Telegram ID at RickRayFX, and that's my main messaging service. I do have WhatsApp and Line and Messenger and all those. As a daily trader and as a beginner, how can I discipline myself to improve from, okay, to reduce your losses? Well, it takes time, Sky, and discipline is the most important thing that you need to learn for a trader. Discipline is key to detaching your emotions and just trusting your strategy when you take trades. It takes time. That's all. It just takes time. If you have a small account, trade small and just be willing to grow your account gradually over time. This is not a money game. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It doesn't work like that. It might take you several years to become successful. People go to university for 4 years to get a bachelor's degree, and then they have to look for a job. So, this is work, and it takes time to become successful. Trading is not easy. I will never tell anybody trading is easy, but it's not hard. If anybody can learn, but you have to be willing to put in the time to learn, and you will have losses. Accept the fact that you will have losses. I had a loss yesterday on a trade. It happens. You don't win all the trades, but discipline is key. Detach yourself from emotions, find a strategy that works, and trust the strategy. This strategy works for me. It works great, and it's simple and easy to understand. And don't worry about you asking a lot of questions. It's fine. That's what I'm here for. But I know it's frustrating that if you have a small account, I need to go over here and see what we're getting. I'm going to adjust my trend line again to the next candle. I'm just not really getting anything here. Maybe something now at 8:45. Okay, this is looking better now. I'm going to go long. Okay, I just took a long trade, and I'll put my stop loss at, did I say there? 42.0, go below my green line here. 42.0, 42.04. Bear with me while I get my chart set up, get everything in place as it should be. Stop loss at 42.04, and my take profit was, what was that? 42.32. A little bit below that, 42.31. 42.31. Okay. Now, so I took a long trade, and of course it pulled back. Oh, that happens a lot, eh? As soon as you click buy or sell, then it goes the other direction. Oh, that's funny. But now my trade's protected. Now let me show you where I put I think I draw my lines on here. 4204. Did I say? Yeah, 4204 is my stop loss, and 4231 was my take profit. I put it a little bit below that resistance because sometimes it doesn't always get there. Okay. I like to mark up my charts like this because then I copy the image and I put it in my journal. There's my stop loss right there and my take profit. Is right there. Okay, and my entry was right here, right about there. And so what I also do is I put a little arrow right about there. So that's the candle where I took the trade. Now, and then I'll maybe write some notes here that why I took the trade and how I set everything up, and then I copy this and I put it in my journal so I can review it. Okay, that's all done. You're welcome, Sky. What strategy do I use? The strategy you're looking at. It's called the trend line strategy. That's all it is trend lines. The candle broke above my downward trend line, and so that's the reason I went long, and now it's coming back down to the pivot point. And we'll see what Okay. What, what you see is what I do. It's just a trend line strategy. It's based on the trend line. If it breaks above the red line, then I go long, which is what happened. If it breaks below the green line, then I go short. But it broke above the red line, so I went long. And then sometimes it's now 8:51, and sometimes on the hour, it will reverse and go the opposite direction. Sometimes. Sometimes when the market starts at 8 o'clock, it sets the direction for the entire day. But sometimes on the hour, it will turn around and reverse. And this is crazy now. I think what I just saw was maybe a fake up. That break above the red trend line there could have just been a fake out. And when it breaks above the trend line, I think I've told you guys before, when it breaks above the trend line, you have the option. You can let the candle close before you take the trade, or you can immediately take the trade. You have the option. But once it breaks above the trend line, that's my trade setup. And sometimes I wait, sometimes I don't. And just now on this trade, I didn't wait. And that might be, that might cost me a loss on this trade because I didn't wait for that candle to close. Sometimes when you wait, then you get a huge move and you weren't able to take advantage of the big move because you waited for the candle to close. So it kind of works out both ways. But this one looks like it's just going to continue down. It's a big bearish candle now. Oh well, got my stop loss down here, 4204. So if it breaks below that green line, then at least that's my safety line now. So I know I got to get out of the trade. And that would be, for me, that'd be a 1% loss on this trade if it does that. So I'll just go ahead and stay here, if you guys don't mind, and watch this play out and see what happens on this candle. Let this 15-minute candle finish. It's another 5 minutes to go on this candle. Hmm. That's a big bearish candle there. But it's not finished yet. Could easily go the other direction. From the top of that candle at 42.16, 42.17, down to 42. That's a $9 move in just 10 minutes. 90 pips. Just 10 minutes. Oh, it's trying to go down. Another 4 minutes on this candle. Let's see what it's going to do. Sometimes at 9 o'clock it will turn around and go the other direction, but we'll wait and see. So today, if I had waited on that candle to close, I wouldn't take the trade. My preference is to wait for the candle to close, but today I didn't. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But it is what it is. And I have protected I've protected my capital with a stop loss, and I will accept the loss if it happens. And then I look for another trade setup. Boy, move that yellow arrow away a little. That's the big red candle where I went long. Another 2 minutes on this candle. That's really a big bearish candle. Almost a 10. I got 6 people watching. If you're watching, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you're notified when I go live. I'm generally here almost every day, Monday to Friday at the same time. Want to add me to Telegram, feel free to do that at RickRay FX. Another minute or so on this candle. Boy, that's a big red candle. Oh, God. It happens sometimes. Just as soon as I click buy, then it turned around and went the other direction. Oh, boy. Yeah. I don't know if I maybe have my stop loss a little bit close. 4202. No, I'm going to leave that. I have given it some breathing room. Get rid of that yellow arrow for the time being. It's in the way. So if it breaks below this trend line, then yeah. And that's a 1% risk. I don't want to risk any more than that. Some people will come in and move the stop loss. You say, oh, give it a little bit more room, move the stop loss down here. And then it keeps going down. And you take a bigger loss. Don't do that. Plan your trade, trade the plan. I go live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's New York. Okay, it's 9 o'clock candle now. Let's see if it's going to continue down. And it is. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Looks like it's going to come down and grab that stop loss. Yeah. Big bearish move, eh? Mhm. Very close to the stop loss now. and that's a big candle at 9 o'clock. Only 1 minute, and it's huge move down already. Let's see, is it going to hit that? Yep, not yet. Bang. Okay, I'm stopped out. Let me go look at MT4. Oh, not yet. Another little bit, another little whisker, but it's really close. I think it's going to grab it. So close. Wow. So close. It hasn't, it's like one pip away from the stop loss. Oh, okay. Okay. Stop loss was hit. Okay. So you guys, we saw a losing trade. I followed the strategy. I should have waited for that first candle, that candle where I took the trade. I should have waited for that one to close. And then in that case, I would have taken a short trade after it broke my downward trend line here. But it is what it is. Okay. So I look for another trade perhaps in the London session. Thank all you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and share, and I'll see you again same time tomorrow.